Hello, my name is Jarden, and welcome to the cursed Russian Dasha World Tour thing. Here we are in her spawn, and this is all Nether themed, which is cool. You can also see the update blocks. Sadly, that happens a lot because she converted this from Java, and that is why this is called the Cursed World Tour, just not a normal World Tour. But this actual Nether area is really cool. You can see Dasha just chilling up there, abusing me as normal, which, you know, fair enough. A good manager always does that. And oh no, I'm on fire. And if you're wondering, this is not live commentary, as the original audio kind of got destroyed, so I'm doing a voiceover, which is either going to make this better or much worse. Here we have one of her main houses, I presume. I'm not a big fan of diorite or birch, but she seems to pull it off. And I do like some of the details inside the house itself. One of my favourite things is especially the heads. She definitely has that in real life as well. So if you're ever visiting Dasha in real life, I would be worried. And all her pets died. These heads, there's a correlation there. I don't think they just died of natural causes. Anyway, she's got all the things she needs here. Apparently a lot of buckets and a lot of drugs and a lot of, you know, good old fun stuff. Interestingly, the water doesn't appear here because of how glitched it is. So it just looks like I'm floating through air itself. I decided to get a better view by jumping off the railing, which is always a good idea. And you can see some beautiful things, like her village and the well kind of mirage, let's call it that for the sake of this video. And oops, I fell off. But wait, I definitely didn't die there. We also have Dasha's diamond, emerald, iron beacon. At first I thought she was just doing some crazy texturing, and then I saw the iron, and Dasha is just actually poor. So haha, and she even says it there herself. Next, this is another really cool concept, which she has built like a custom wall around a custom village. There are no villages, yet again. There seems to be some sort of correlation with heads and no entities. So, I was very suspicious of Dasha at this point. I couldn't seem to find a gulag either, which would be the most obvious place for a Russian person like Dasha. As you can see, completely abandoned. So what did she do? And sadly, this is not the video that we will find that out, but as these months go on, I'm sure we can investigate this issue. So this video itself is just a warning. Be afraid of the Russian, or the Dasha, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, like one of the things I do love about her world is, like, you can see a ton of builds in the background, and it actually adds life to the world. Look at this cursed pillar entrance, which I think is hilarious. It happens so much in this world, and it's a shame, but it's also really funny. This is not one of her houses, this is her boyfriend's house, and she seems to hide it back here. Which, you know, poor boyfriend, you know, his house is just getting hidden in the corner. See, in the chat, she states that it wasn't hers. Seems to be abandoned and empty. Maybe she killed her boyfriend too, who knows. We really don't know the scale of heads she owns. And also, more update blocks. Those are fun. Anyway, as we go through here, we can see this interesting sign. I'm not really sure what it means, but it's there. Like a lot of things in Minecraft worlds. And so far in Dasha's world, we can see a variety of different builds and different blocks and different styles. So she's definitely experimented with things, I think, which is a good sign. Some just random chests. I do like the bookshelves just for the sake of detailing. And then, I don't even know what my character's trying to do. One of the fun things with controller drift, you know. A nice bid up here, as we call it, because of my awful accent. And then Dasha's just chilling. Also, I thought it would be really funny for the sake of this video if she was in creative and I was in survival. This would have been much easier if I was in creative, because obviously this is a copy, it's not her real world. This is Cursed World. And here we have probably the best lighthouse I've ever seen. And I'm not just being over complimentary, it's true. I think the inside's kind of like, yeah, it needs more work, I would say. That's the one critique for a world so far, because you can't do much in there. But the actual build of the lighthouse is amazing and very cool. Then over here we seem to have an interesting bridge. She does state some designs aren't hers, but you know, she's still building it in survival and trying it and learning new techniques, so respect to that. The one thing that irked me about this bridge though is the fences don't connect to the leaves, and I know that's not her fault. I just found it to be an interesting design. Then I decided to be the absolute monster of a person, or penguin I guess on the internet that I am, and I saw these turtle eggs. Turtles are something I have not messed around with yet, and I know it's been years since the aquatic update, so I need to do that soon. I also eventually throughout this video just start collecting update blocks because, you know, there's so many and they're so fun to have. I was lagging a little bit, but that makes sense considering the difference between New Zealand and Russia is quite a lot. And here you see me being just lovely and a good person. And Dasha states, "You absolute mad lad." That's what it says. I can't see anything else there. So anyway, her bridge was very cool. Turtles were very crushable apparently, and just a nice little beach area where you can look into the awful bedrock sunset, as a adorable hoe would say. And then we seem to be continuing along, and the next thing I am hoping is the prismarine biome. Or not, this is also very cool. It's the Nether Mountain, but it also has a very cool nether portal, which we didn't go through because it would normally lead to her nether roof, which you can't do on bedrock because you would die. I don't think you can get up there simply, it's just the way of the bedrock. But a very cool portal design, and kind of the stuff I would love to do with my own portals in my own world. And we also get a good view of her like spawn area, and it's very cool to see. She's also got some good biome diversity, obviously she didn't choose that. And you can see her boyfriend's house just being hidden there. And yeah, that's quite sad. Still, the lack of life in this world is very concerning. And you know, you could be like, I believe Dasha did not murder them. But you as a viewer, you gotta help me figure this out, because you know, she's literally my manager. And that's concerning. Because if she's killing these things casually, what's gonna stop her from doing that to me? Actually, that wouldn't be the worst thing. Then maybe Dasha can take over this channel. And there's just a few other builds I didn't specifically go to there, but they're very cool. And next is one of the things that took me a while to figure out what it was. Dasha's world seems to have a common trend of potting other dimensions into other dimensions, and she especially loves bringing hell into the overworld. But this is actually a desert well made out of desert wells, but nether style, and it's very cool. Like, it looks really good considering it's made out of desert wells. It's one of those Inception things. And it's also probably another gateway to hell. And yeah, you know, I respect that. Obviously there's some more better desert wells. The actual nice shrine of desert wells. Whereas this one will probably curse you. And in the distance, for some of you who follow her on Twitter, you've probably seen this biome before. It's one of the coolest custom biomes I've ever seen. It's her prismarine biome, as we like to call it. I don't know if she has an actual name like I do for like mine, like the Crimson Cavern or the Cobalt Sands. But I never really knew the extent of scale this biome was. It looked a lot smaller than it was on Twitter itself. You can also see some update blocks just chilling in the background, and some other builds around her world. And I think a custom biome is definitely one of the best projects you can do, because anyone can do it. This is a really good example of it. And I also really like the Soulfire, because it fits in with the biome's colours, but it adds a bit of variety to it, which works really well for her here. And the mushrooms are very cool as well. So, you know, well done to Dasha. But also Prismarine, that is a flex, like definitely a flex. And I know that's one of her personal favourite blocks from past videos and past whatever. And I just seem to be a bit lost here as Dasha flies around. And I'm just trying to look at stuff and be like, this is very cool. And like, often I find in these kind of videos, all you can say is this is cool, this is great, this is amazing. And it is because it is. I genuinely appreciate being honest. If I don't like something, I will genuinely say. Like, how often do I talk about not liking myself? You know, I'm very honest about that. It's not something I should say in the commentary, but you know, it's halfway through the video, so it's not really a threat of anyone seeing that. Well, hopefully. Anyway, this biome was very cool. Would recommend you be inspired by something like this. These are the kind of projects you see on YouTube and you're like, wow, I want to do something like that. Maybe not the same thing, but at least similar, so well done to her. And the next thing is a desert temple made out of purple blocks, I believe, and shroom lights, which is also, yet again, very cool. And I do like the uniqueness of it, and I think I want to do something similar, just in a different style of blocks to fit one of my personal custom biomes. And also, she's got the iconic Minecraft sign in the background, which is very cool. And then just casually an end ship. So there's a lot of things going on in this world, which I also really appreciate because it makes it busy. She casually has one of those creeper farms, and also the grass is really weird here, simply just because, yet again, the conversion from Java seems to frick up the world a lot, because it's got lines, like it's like an actual lawn. And yes, very good. Now we have arrived in probably the most beautiful place and holy of places in our world, the Desert Temple Sanctuary, let's call it. You know, that's a better name than Mirage. So I think her goal here is to try build as much desert temples as she can out of different blocks, which is a cool project. I believe Jack may have done something similar in his world. That was a long time ago, that could have been someone else. Yet again, a very cool project. I need to stop saying cool. A very glorious project for the communists. I don't know what communism has to do with this video, but you can see the desert temples are shared equally. And next we have Dashas Mansion of sorts, which is just incredible. Admittedly, it is not her design, but she did do this in survival, which is impressive on its own feet. And a lot of the techniques in this house I really like, and also the cursed blocks have ruined it a bit again, but oh well. So there's like an actual palette in here, which I really like. The red bricks are interesting, I will say that. That's probably the only part, and also the granite, I believe, is the weird like pinky stone block. It looks interesting, but I do love the kelp roof and the anvils, and hopefully she does more with the interior in the future. Who knows? Up to her, it's her world. It is a flex to definitely have a mansion. I would recommend it if you want to flex on the peasants like me. And she admits she likes the kelp attic as well. And I'm sorry if I'm recording this really badly, but I do apologize. Anyway, here we are at another custom biome of hers, but in this case it has been completely ruined, and not by Dasha herself, but Bedrock Conversion did not want this thing to exist. Apparently, I think it uses a lot of 1.17 blocks, and converting that was like, nope. So we have this very cursed biome, which is very fitting, but I can't wait to see the actual result. And this is like one of the things in the world at the moment. Yeah, it looks pretty awful at the moment, simply not her fault, because there's things like cursed blocks and things missing. And she literally states, I cry every time, and that's fair enough after looking at what happened to the biome. Like, the grass is floating, so what on earth was happening here? And this gets more and more cursed as the tour goes on, and you'll see especially in the end, and it gave me a bit of PTSD, and you'll see why. And I shouldn't joke about things like that, but if anyone remembers a certain video about some dragons, we will see soon. Anyway, we're just going through the biome here, just looking around at the cursed atrocity that it kind of is in this state, not saying Dasha's actual skills at building anything are cursed. The river is literally receding away. So maybe Dasha's world has just been filled with so much murder from her killing things that happened. And now I jump into a massive hole and somehow don't die, definitely. And here we are in the end, which is probably her most impressive project, which she filled it with water casually, because she loves causing pain to Endermen. Another thing to go with her whole genocide thing. But you may notice the Ender Dragon, and the thing is, Dasha didn't spawn the Ender Dragon in, obviously, because she's already killed the dragon 20 times. So that one's like, yeah, it's explainable, you know, Bedrock probably considered it as a new end for some reason. And then you look over there, and if for those of you who do remember me proclaiming there was an invisible dragon glitch, that is complete proof right there. As you look down there, the invisible waves. Really, Dasha just has a wave mod. But no, the end is cursed, the invisible dragon has returned, and this caused me much pain. Also, the fun thing is, Dasha knew completely about this before showing me, so she just definitely wanted me to torture me with the trauma from the past dragon experience, where they literally corrupted my world, and I almost didn't get my world back because of them. And yeah, that's a fun experience. But otherwise, Dasha's world is very cool. I just think this is more an interesting intake of what happens if you convert from Java to Bedrock. Apparently, Bedrock to Java is not as bad, and you know, that's a good thing. But we're going to end the video here. I hope you really did enjoy Dasha's world, because I did. I didn't show a lot of it, to be honest. There are still some other cool things, but I hope I showed what she wanted to be seen. And as you can see, the invisible dragon is just causing havoc, and I love it. And if you did enjoy this, consider following Dasha on Twitter, which I'll link below, and subscribing to me so I can boost my ego yet again. And adios, viewers.